Yo guys, it is Sincerity once again back with another video, and today I'm just going to be doing a quick little tip on how to do the shockwave effect that I pulled off in my latest intro. Don't know what was happening with the text there, but I think the shockwave effect really just completed the intro, and I found that it was just like the icing on the cake essentially. So I'm going to be teaching you how to do that as well. Also, it was camera tracked as well, so even if you have the camera moving, it won't look odd or misshapen because you're overlaying it as an image in the compositor rather than actually putting it as a plane, which is kind of a big giveaway as to how I did it. So I have the original Blender file here. That is literally all I did. I just imported it as import images as planes, played a movie file on it, set up some simple nodes, and that was pretty much it. We were good to go. So I'm going to recreate that and show you that it actually works in my new Blender file here, and I have got screencast enabled, and we'll be doing this in cycles because I wholeheartedly believe cycles render is just better for most things. You can use Blender render. I think that's more for a retro style, or not retro, just like simple and low poly and all the good stuff like that. So what we're going to do, like always, is just going to delete the cube in the middle of our scene there, and we are going to import images as planes. What have I just done? So before we're going to import images as planes, you may be thinking, well, how do I do that? Because if I do Shift A and I go down to mesh, I only have these, but yet I have all these. Good question, my friend, good question. So we'll have to enable an add-on. It's not external, it already comes with Blender, it's just not enabled, so we're going to have to go into settings and go ahead and enable that. So we'll go to user preferences, go to add-ons, and we are going to go to mesh. Okay, I think it's images. We'll try images. There we go. Import, export images as planes. Go ahead and give that a tick, and then save user settings, and then you're pretty much done. So now you can press Shift A, and then you can go all the way down to the bottom, images as planes, and then of course you will have to go and choose your image. But we are not choosing an image, we are choosing a file. So I have currently two options, whether I'm going to go with the, I can't remember, Andrew Kramer, those ones, where are they? I need to go to intros folder, and then go to resources. Oh yeah, the Shockwaves. I generally go with the MP4. Yeah, it was the Video Copilot Shockwaves. So I think I got the lower pack, but it comes with a ton of pre-rendered shockwaves, which are all really good because they use the alpha channels, meaning you can change the colors and the duration and pretty much anything. I just wish I got the better pack because they came at 48 FPS at 2K rather than 720p at 24 FPS. But never mind that. So we're going to go back into our Blender file, and we're just going to go ahead and find that. So I'm going to go to my desktop. Yes, I know I have way too much stuff on my desktop. We'll just go to intros, and then we'll go to resources, and then we'll go to Shockwave MP4. So hopefully now these should load in the captions. I don't know, we'll go for a nice one. We'll go for the Smoke 2. I kind of like the big smoky ones. Then import images as planes. So now when we go into our rendered view or our material view, you should be able to see that we have our image there, or our movie file, and you should see it should change. So now when we render this out, we skip to a certain frame, it'll play through on that plane, which is really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set the scene to white just to represent, and so it's easier to see what we're doing here, and we're just going to rotate that by 90 degrees on the x-axis, so RX90, and I'm just going to bring the camera in front of the plane like that. So I did Control Alt number pad 0 and 1 to get to the front view, and what we're going to do is just going to scale this up just so we can see what we're doing. We'll scale it up so then it pretty much fits the whole camera, which is all good. So now when we render it, we should be able to see our shockwave. I'm actually just going to set that to GPU. So now we can see our white background just coming out over our image. But there is a little drag. We need to change this image to a white transparent object. So to do that, we're going to have to do a little bit of compositing. We're going to have to go into the compositing editor, and we're going to have to go to materials. Now it's super simple, trust me. So we've pretty much already got most of the nodes that we need. All we need to do is delete this diffuse, so press X, and then sub that in for a transparent shader. So transparent BDCF, and we'll just connect those up. Now what I did was I added an invert, because the one that I used was white, so I wanted it to be black. Obviously it's not going to work too well on this example because it's grey, but you can always change the shockwave later. Honestly, that's not an issue. So we're going to go to color and then invert, and we're just going to add that there. So now hopefully when we render it, we should get this white looking smoke field, which should be really good. I'll actually just sub that in for like a white one, just so we can see what we're doing a little bit easier. I'll use that one, just use the first one for. So hopefully now we'll be able to see our explosion, which is all good. So now what you're going to have to do is, you've noticed when I inserted that in, these frames here set themselves to 0. So that means number of images of movie to use. So now it's using 0 frames of the movie. So just set that to something like 300. I would do the exact amount, but honestly, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't loop. So it only if you have it on repeat, or where is it, flat, box, linear, or if you do cyclic, then it will just repeat itself. Start frame, so say we want to start the frame at 50, we'll just do that, and then offset 0, and then that should be all good. So now when we go into texture, it's a bit annoying because it doesn't work in so we start it on frame 50, and then boom, the shockwave plays out. So what I did is, you'll notice that this thing here just sort of stays there. I don't know a way to get around it in the compositor. Let me just quickly check. I know I should have done this earlier, because I tried with the brightness and contrast, but that like makes it the whole thing darker. So if you do the brightness, it'll just make the whole thing darker, and it won't really work. So we'll have to do that. So what I did was, essentially the frame that I wanted it to feature in was, like, I think it was frame 72. So what I did is, say on frame 50, I keyframed it here. So what we're going to do, set it to frame 50, press I, and we'll set, I don't know, location, and then we'll go to frame 49, so just go back one, and then I moved it well out of the way of the camera, and then pressed I and location. So now basically it's an instant transfer in, and it looks like the shockwave was never there, and it's just sort of popped in and exploded. But that's how I did it. If you guys find a better method, please don't hesitate to contact me. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed this quick little tip. I'm not sure how quick it actually was, but yeah, if you guys have any more questions at all, please don't hesitate to message me in the comments or message me directly, and I will get your issues sorted out, whether it be a one-on-one on Skype or a YouTube video, depending on how many people request it. So anyway guys, hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one.